Welcome back to another episode of Valuable Coins, where we dive deep into the world of numismatics, uncovering the most valuable and unique coins in the market today. If you're a coin enthusiast, collector, or simply interested in the incredible value of rare coins, you're in the right place. In today's video, we will explore two of the most fascinating and expensive United States coins currently circulating the auction market. First, up the 1981 Washington quarter with a D mint mark is an interesting example of modern American coinage. Though it might not seem particularly rare at first glance, especially in circulated condition, every coin has a story, and this one is no exception. This coin comes from a period just before the massive design changes in the U.S. quarter series and serves as a great representative of the copper-nickel-clad era that defined late 20th century coinage. Let's begin with the basics. The obverse side of the 1981 quarter features the classic portrait of George Washington, facing left with the word Liberty inscribed above his head. To the left of Washington's profile is the national motto, "In God We Trust," and at the bottom, you'll find the year 1981. Just to the right of the portrait is the letter D, indicating that this particular coin was minted in Denver. The reverse side displays an eagle with outstretched wings, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons. Below the eagle are two olive branches, representing peace. The words United States of America and E pluribus unum appear above the eagle, while quarter dollar is written along the bottom. This reverse design remained in place from 1932 to 1998 before being replaced by the 50 state quarters program. Now, it's important to address a common misconception. Many people believe quarters, like the 1981 example, are made of silver. In fact, that's not the case. The last circulating silver quarters were made in 1964. Beginning in 1965, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layers are 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. Therefore, the 1981 quarter contains no silver content and is not considered a silver coin, even though it retains the classic look and feel of older coins. Let's take a closer look at the condition of this particular coin. It has a black color tone and is described as being in dirty condition with visible scratches. This appearance typically results from years of circulation, environmental exposure, and surface contaminants. Dirt, oxidation, and wear can give coins a darker, uneven shade, especially if they've been stored improperly or exposed to moisture and air. The scratches add to the circulated look, and while they don't necessarily reduce the historical value, they do impact the collector value. From a grading perspective, this 1981 quarter would fall somewhere between good and fine condition. The details of the coin are still visible, but wear and surface issues like discoloration and scratches make it less desirable to high-end collectors who seek uncirculated or mint-state examples. Still, it holds value, especially to beginners in coin collecting or those who are assembling a full set of Washington quarters by date and mint mark. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced over 575 million quarters in 1981. That's a substantial number, which means these coins are still very common in circulation today because of their high mintage and lack of silver content. 1981 quarters usually trade for their face value in average circulated condition. However, unusual errors, double dies, or exceptionally preserved examples in high grades can attract interest from collectors and bring higher prices. Now, let's talk about the current market value for a 1981 Washington quarter with a D mint mark in dirty condition and with some scratches. The value typically remains close to face value, around 25 cents. In some online auctions or coin markets, a circulated coin in similar condition might sell for 30 to 50 cents, especially if buyers are looking to fill gaps in a date and mint set. However, unless the coin has a unique error or is an exceptionally high grade, It's unlikely to fetch more than $1 in the current auction market. Collectors seeking coins for their personal albums often purchase coins like this not for their rarity, but for the satisfaction of completing a collection. And even coins in less than perfect condition still tell a story and serve as tangible connections to the past. The patina, discoloration, and scratches are marks of the coin's journey through time through pockets, cash registers, and countless hands. In conclusion, the 1981 Washington quarter with D mint mark might not be a high-value rarity, but it still has educational and historical worth. It reflects a time in U.S. coinage when copper-nickel became the standard, and it stands as one of the last designs before the dramatic changes introduced in the late 1990s. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your journey into coin collecting, coins like this are worth appreciating for their history, design, and the role they've played in everyday American life. The 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark is a coin that captures both historical significance and collectible interest. This copper 1-cent piece, minted in Denver, is part of the beloved Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which ran from 1909 until 1958. Known for its classic design and connection to President Abraham Lincoln, the wheat penny remains one of the most collected coins in the United States. The 1955 D penny is no exception. Even in fine condition with some scratches, it holds value not only in the collector's market, but also in American history. Let's begin with the coin's design. On the obverse or front side, you'll see a detailed right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. This design was created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials can be found beneath Lincoln's shoulder on earlier coins in the series. The image of Lincoln is flanked by the word Liberty on the left and the date 1955 on the right. Just beneath the date is the small D mint mark, indicating the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. Above Lincoln's head, the motto, "In God We Trust," arcs along the rim. Turning to the reverse side of the coin, we find the classic wheat ears design that gives the wheat penny its name. Two stylized stalks of wheat curve along the left and right sides of the coin. In the center, the words 1 cent are boldly displayed, with United States of America just beneath. At the top is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This simple yet elegant reverse design served for nearly 5 decades before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. The 1955 D penny was struck using a metal composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This gives it a rich reddish-brown tone, although years of circulation can dull the color or give it a darker hue. In fine condition, the coin typically shows moderate wear, especially on the high points of Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and coat, as well as the tips of the wheat stalks on the reverse. Some scratches, like the ones mentioned on this coin, are typical for pieces that were actively used in circulation for many years. The 1955 Lincoln Cent had a very high mintage, with over 563 million coins struck at the Denver Mint alone. This means the coin is not considered rare, especially in lower or average circulated grades. However, it still maintains value among collectors, particularly those who strive to build complete day tandem sets of the Lincoln Cent series. While the Philadelphia version of the 1955 penny is famous for a rare and highly valuable double die error, the Denver version did not experience the same variety, making it more affordable, but still historically important. In today's coin market, a 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny in fine condition with some surface scratches typically holds a value of around 5 to 15 cents. This value can vary slightly depending on the buyer, the coin dealer, or the regional demand. While the coin might not be worth a fortune, still well above its original face value and remains an affordable entry point for beginner collectors. Coins in better conditions, say, it's very fine or extremely fine, may sell for 20 to 50 cents. Uncirculated specimens with full luster, no scratches, and strong strikes can command prices from $1 to $5 or more, particularly if graded by a professional coin grading service. Collectors often seek high-grade examples to complete their collections or to showcase the beauty of the original design. Even though your 1955D penny is in fine condition and shows signs of wear and scratches, it remains a collectible piece. These imperfections are normal for coins that have circulated for nearly 70 years. Every mark tells a story. It could have been passed from hand to hand in the 1950s, perhaps used in a vending machine, or carried in someone's pocket through decades of change in America. Beyond its monetary value, this coin holds historical and emotional significance. It connects us to the mid-20th century, an era of post-war prosperity, cultural transformation, and technological innovation. It's part of a series that commemorates one of the most revered American presidents and serves as a reminder of the values Lincoln stood for: unity, freedom, and perseverance. So while your 1955D penny may be modest in terms of price, it's a treasure in terms of meaning. Many collectors proudly keep wheat pennies like this in albums or display cases, especially when assembling full collections by year and mint mark. It's the hunt, the history, and the humble beginnings of each coin that make the hobby of coin collecting so deeply satisfying. Next up, the 1979 Washington quarter without a mint mark is a coin that may seem quite ordinary at first glance. It's a common piece that many people still find in their change today. But, like all coins, it carries historical significance, design, interest, and a story worth telling. Let's take a deeper look at this coin, its background, design, composition, and what collectors might pay for one in today's auction market. To begin with, the obverse of the 1979 Washington quarter features a familiar image: George Washington's profile facing left. This portrait has appeared on the quarter since 1932 and was designed by John Flanagan. Above Washington's head is the word Liberty, while the motto "In God We Trust" appears to the left. Below the portrait is the date 1979. What makes this coin specifically a Philadelphia mint issue is the absence of a mint mark. Coins struck in Philadelphia prior to 1980 usually do not carry a mint mark. So when you see a Washington quarter dated 1979 with no mint letter, you can be fairly confident it came from the Philadelphia Mint. In that year, over 515 million Washington quarters were produced in Philadelphia alone, making this coin a very common one from a mintage perspective. The reverse design of this quarter features a heraldic eagle with its wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows, with 2 olive branches below. The inscriptions "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" appear at the top and $quarter at the bottom. This reverse design had remained consistent since 1932 and would continue until 1998, before the state quarters program launched in 1999. Now, let's address an important misconception. Many people believe that all older quarters, especially those from the 1960s and 1970s, are made of silver. But in fact, the U.S. Mint stopped using 90% silver in regular circulating quarters after 1964. From 1965 onward, Washington quarters were made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layers are made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. So, even though this 1979 coin may look silvery, it contains no silver at all. It is a clad coin. This means its intrinsic metal value is very low, and its collector value depends almost entirely on its condition, rarity, or unique features. Speaking of condition, this specific 1979 quarter is described as being in good condition with some scratches. In numismatic terms, good is a lower grade, meaning the coin has clearly seen circulation and shows moderate to heavy wear on the highest points of the design. Some of the finer details in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers may be flattened, and surface marks or discoloration from scratches will be present. That being said, even coins in well-worn condition can have some collector interest. For example, beginners often look for these quarters to complete basic sets by year and mint. Even a well-worn coin can be desirable for someone who wants to build an affordable full-date set of Washington quarters. As for value in today's auction market, most circulated 1979 Washington quarters without mint marks are worth about 25 cents their face value. In slightly better condition, they might fetch around 30 to 50 cents from a collector looking for a specific date or example to complete their set. In very high grades such as mint state 65 or higher, coins from this year can be worth several dollars, but only if they are in pristine, uncirculated condition, free from scratches, blemishes, or discoloration. Because this particular example is in good condition with visible scratches, it falls on the lower end of the value range. Still, some collectors, especially those interested in building circulated coin sets or historical collections, may be willing to pay slightly more than face value. On online platforms like eBay or small coin auction sites, you might see this kind of coin listed or sold for between 30 cents and $1, depending on how it's presented and the buyer's interest. Some collectors also search for errors or varieties from the 1979 quarter. Although no major error types are well known from this year in mint, occasional off-center strikes, die cracks, or weak strikes can occur and bring additional value. If a coin like this has such an error, even in circulated condition, it could be worth several dollars or more. Next up, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S mint mark is a collectible coin that carries both historical and numismatic significance. Minted at the San Francisco Mint, this particular coin is a part of the enduring Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. It features the classic wheat ears reverse, a favorite among collectors, and proudly displays Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse. Though it may not be exceedingly rare, the 1951 S penny remains a popular piece for coin enthusiasts, especially when it's in very fine condition like this one, even with a few minor scratches from circulation over the decades. Let's begin by talking about the coin's design. On the obverse side, we see the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. This was the first U.S. coin to feature an actual historical figure, and Lincoln's image has endured on the penny for well over a century. Above Lincoln's head is the phrase, "In God We Trust," a motto that has appeared on U.S. coins for many years. To the left of Lincoln is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1951, with the small S mint mark just below it, indicating it was produced at the San Francisco Mint. Turning over to the reverse side, the coin features the iconic wheat ears design. Two stalks of wheat frame the coin on either side, symbolizing prosperity and agriculture, two central elements of early American values. Between them, the words 1 cent are boldly stamped, followed by United States of America. Near the top, the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, is inscribed as a reminder of the unity of the states. The 1951's Lincoln penny was composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This high copper content gives it a warm reddish-brown appearance, although the tone can vary depending on the coin's storage and handling over time. In very fine condition, the high points of Lincoln's bust and the details in the wheat stalks are still clearly visible, though slightly worn. A few scratches, like those found on this coin, are expected and acceptable for circulated coins of this age and don't drastically affect its market value at this grade level. In terms of mintage, the San Francisco Mint produced approximately 136 million Lincoln pennies in 1951. While this is not a particularly low number, it is significantly less than the totals produced by the Philadelphia and Denver mints that same year. Because of this, The S-Mint Mark version is somewhat more desirable among collectors seeking to complete a full Daytandament Mark set of the Wheat Penny series. So, what's this coin worth in today's market? 4A1951S Lincoln Penny. In very fine condition with only moderate wear and some small scratches. The typical market value ranges from around 15 to 30 cents. The price can fluctuate depending on the coin's eye appeal, coloration, and the current demand among collectors. If the coin has exceptional details, even in a circulated state, it might fetch a bit more from the right buyer or in a coin auction. Higher grade examples, such as those in extremely fine or about uncirculated condition, can be valued between 50 cents and $1. Coins in mint state, those that have never been in circulation, can range from $2 to over $10, depending on the specific grade and whether they have been certified by a professional grading service. What makes this coin interesting isn't just its monetary value, it's the history it represents. The 1951 Ness penny was struck in the early years of the post-World War II era. The United States was entering a period of economic growth, cultural change, and industrial expansion. This little coin could have passed through the hands of workers in factories, school children buying candy, or travelers saving for a train ticket. It's a piece of everyday life from over 70 years ago, still intact and telling a story. For collectors, coins like the 1951S Lincoln Penny offer an affordable and meaningful way to explore American history. It's not just about collecting expensive rarities, it's about building a connection with the past, piece by piece. Many collectors begin with coins like this, one simple, accessible, and filled with character. The minor scratches only add to its personality, showing that it lived a long life in the pockets and hands of everyday Americans. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, the 1951S Lincoln Penny is a valuable addition to your set. It might not make headlines at an auction, but it plays a crucial role in telling the story of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series and America's coinage history. Next up, the 1966 Washington Quarter. Without a mint mark, is a coin that tells a significant story in the history of U.S. coinage. Although it may look like a typical silver coin to the untrained eye, the truth is far more interesting. With its classic design, transitional background, and modest collector value. The 1966 quarter is a fascinating piece for both new collectors and seasoned numismatists. In this video, let's explore the coin's background, features, and current market value for a fine condition example with some scratches. Let's start with the design. Like all Washington quarters minted from 1932 to 1998, the obverse or front features the bust of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. You'll see Washington's profile facing left, the word Liberty inscribed above his head, the motto "In God We Trust" on the left, and the date 1966 located below the portrait. It's a timeless design that remained unchanged for decades. On the reverse of the coin, we see the majestic image of a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows. Beneath the arrows are two olive branches, symbolizing America's strength and desire for peace. Around the outer edge of the reverse side are the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus, unum, and $quarter. This familiar design evokes a sense of tradition and patriotism that still resonates today. Now, let's address a common misunderstanding. While many people refer to quarters from the 1960s as silver coins, the 1966 Washington quarter is not made of silver. In fact, the U.S. Mint stopped producing circulating quarters with 90% silver after 1964. The Coinage Act of 1965 introduced the copper-nickel-clad composition to reduce the cost of coin production and prevent hoarding due to rising silver prices. That means quarters from 1965 onwards, including the 1966 issue, were made of a copper core sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel alloy, containing no silver at all. Because of this change, the 1966 Washington quarter looks silver in color, but it has no intrinsic silver value. That doesn't mean it has no value at all, but its worth is based solely on collectability, condition, and any unique characteristics rather than precious metal content. Another point worth noting is the absence of a mint mark in 1965-1966. In 1967, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from all circulating coins. This decision was made to discourage people from hoarding coins based on mint location, which had become common during the coin shortage of the mid-1960s. So, if your 1966 quarter doesn't have a mint mark, don't worry, it's completely normal and expected. Let's talk about the condition. This particular example is described as being in fine condition with some scratches. In numismatic grading terms, fine suggests moderate wear on the coin's raised elements. You'll still be able to clearly see major details like Washington's profile and the eagle on the reverse, but the finer textures, such as hairlines or feather patterns, may be worn down. Surface scratches, typical of a coin that's been in circulation for years, also visible. In today's market, a 1966 Washington quarter in fine condition with scratches is not a rare coin. With a mintage of over 821 million coins, this issue is considered very common. For that reason, its value remains relatively close to face value in circulated condition. Most collectors already have one or more 1966 quarters in their collections, and many examples are readily available. That said, some collectors still enjoy owning circulated examples for year sets or historical interest. On average, a 1966 quarter in fine condition with light wear and scratches might sell for around 25 cents to 50 cents in today's auction market. Occasionally, a coin in slightly better condition or with a unique toning pattern or minor error might sell for a bit more. In very high grades, circulated or mint state, the value could rise to a few dollars. And in exceptional condition with a certified grade of MS65 or higher, it might bring in $10 or more. However, such premium values are only for coins with no wear and perfect surfaces, which isn't the case with this specific example. Some collectors also look out for potential error coins from 1966. While not extremely common, there are a few known varieties such as off-center strikes or die cracks. If your coin happens to have one of these errors, its value could be significantly higher even in circulated condition. Next up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a fascinating and historical piece of American coinage. As one of the final coins from the long-running Lincoln wheat penny series, this coin holds a special place in the hearts of collectors and history enthusiasts alike. The 1958 issue marked the very last year that the wheat reverse design was used, bringing to a close nearly 50 years of production that began in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This specific coin, the large date and no mint mark, was minted in Philadelphia. The lack of a mint mark confirms its origin, since coins from the Philadelphia Mint traditionally were not marked until much later. With over 250 million of these pennies struck that year in Philadelphia alone, the 1958 wheat penny is relatively common. However, its age, design significance, and historical value make it a desirable item, especially for those completing Lincoln cent collections or seeking coins from pivotal years in U.S. minting history. Looking at the design, the obverse features the classic profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right. This portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner and was the first depiction of a real person on a U.S. circulating coin. Above Lincoln's head reads the motto, "In God We Trust," while Liberty appears on the left side, and the date 1958 is placed to the right. This classic design remained unchanged throughout the entire wheat cent series and still endures on the modern Lincoln Memorial and Shield cents today. On the reverse side, the iconic wheat ears frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America above that rests the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. These wheat ears, representing prosperity and the nation's agrarian roots, were symbolic of the American spirit during the early and mid-20th century. Now, let's talk about condition. Your 1958 penny is in good condition with some scratches. This means the coin has circulated and shows noticeable wear on high points of Lincoln's face and coat on the obverse. The wheat stalks on the reverse will be worn, with fine details flattened, but the basic design is still visible. Scratches and surface marks are expected in circulated coins of this age, especially from everyday use. In terms of composition, this penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Over the years, exposure to air, humidity, and handling often causes oxidation and color changes in copper coins, sometimes resulting in a darkened or spotted surface. Despite cosmetic imperfections, the value of a 1958 wheat penny largely depends on its condition and any unique features it may possess. So what is this coin worth in today's market? It's in circulated condition, including good condition with some scratches like yours. A 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark typically sells for about 5 to 10 cents. It's worth more than face value, but because of the high mintage and availability, its market value is modest. Collectors may pay a premium if the coin has appealing toning, or if it fits neatly into a full-date set of Lincoln wheat cents. Coins in higher grades can command better prices. For example, a 1958 wheat penny in extremely fine condition may be valued around 25 to 50 cents, while uncirculated examples can range from $1 to $3. Bright red coins in mint state condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services, may reach up to $10 or more, depending on eye appeal and rarity of quality. There are also rare varieties to look for. One of the most famous is the 1958 double die obverse penny, where the inscriptions and date appear doubled. Only a few of these have been found, and they are extremely rare and valuable. One example sold for over $100,000 at auction. However, standard 1958 coins, like yours, without doubling or errors, generally maintain steady but modest market values. Beyond monetary value, this coin is important as a historic artifact. 1958 was a year of change and transition in the U.S. In the following year, 1959, the wheat reverse would be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That change marked the end of an era, and the 1958 wheat penny became the final chapter in one of America's most iconic coin designs. In conclusion, your 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, large date, minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, in good condition with some scratches, holds a market value of about 5 to 10 cents today. But its real worth goes beyond the dollar figure. It is a cherished piece of American history, a symbol of a bygone age, and a connection to a design that was loved by generations. Whether you're holding on to it for sentimental reasons or adding it to your collection, this coin is a timeless reminder of America's enduring legacy in coinage. Next up, the 1984 Washington quarter with the D. Mint mark is one of the many circulating coins from the latter half of the 20th century that still finds its way into everyday change. Despite its age, this coin remains a common piece in circulation. In this video, we'll explore the story behind the 1984 D Washington quarter, its composition, design, and how much it's worth today in the auction market, even in dirty condition with visible scratches. Let's start with the basics. The obverse front of the coin features the portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This iconic image was designed by sculptor John Flanagan and has been in use on the quarters since 1932. Above Washington's head, you'll see the word Liberty, and to the left, the national motto, "In God We Trust." Just beneath the image is the year of mintage 1984, and next to it is the small letter D, indicating that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Moving to the reverse of the coin, we see the heraldic eagle design, also by Flanagan. The eagle is shown with wings outstretched, perched on a bundle of arrows with 2 olive branches beneath it. Around the edge, you'll find the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus, unum, and $quarter. This design has remained a staple on U.S. quarters for many decades and is deeply rooted in American tradition. Now, let's talk about the metal content. Although this coin may look like it's made of silver, the 1984 Washington quarter does not contain any silver. It is actually made of a copper-nickel clad composition. The core of the coin is pure copper, while the outer layer is a mixture of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This change from silver to clad composition occurred after 1964, when rising silver prices made it impractical for the U.S. Mint to continue using silver in circulating coins because of its non-silver content. The 1984 D quarter has no intrinsic metal value above its face value. However, it still holds interest for collectors, especially if the coin is in uncirculated or mint condition, or if it has a known error. But for circulated coins, condition becomes a key factor in determining value. The coin in question here is described as being in dirty condition with some scratches. That means it has seen significant circulation. In grading terms, it likely falls in the good to very fine range, depending on how much wear is present. A dirty surface with visible scratches is quite common for a coin that has been used. In commerce for over 40 years, these surface flaws impact its visual appeal, which is crucial in the eyes of collectors, in heavily circulated or dirty condition with scratches. This coin is typically worth its face value, 25 cents. Since more than 546 million of these quarters were minted at the Denver Mint in 1984, they are extremely common. For coins in average circulated condition, collectors do not generally pay a premium. However, there are always exceptions in the coin world. In auctions, if a 1984 D quarter has a unique feature such as a die crack, doubling, off-center strike, or other mint-era writ can command a higher price. Some error examples from this year have sold for $20 to $100 depending on the rarity and visibility of the mistake. But for a standard circulated coin with no errors, the value stays close to face value in better condition, especially if certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Prices can rise. An uncirculated 1984 D quarter graded MS65 or higher could fetch anywhere from $5 to $15. In ultra-high grades like MS67 or better, the price can jump to $100 or more. But such examples are extremely rare and must have sharp details, strong luster, and no visible flaws. In contrast, the coin we're discussing with dirt, scratches, and signs of wear would not qualify for these high-end collector prices. However, it still carries historical value and can be appreciated for its role in the broader story of American currency. It's also worth holding on to if you're building a circulated coin year set, or if you're just starting your collection. To summarize, the 1984D Washington quarter is a common and affordable coin from the late 20th century. While it contains no silver and is worth about $25,000 in dirty, scratched condition, it still serves as a tangible piece of American history. Whether you're new to coin collecting or just curious about coins in your pocket, understanding the background and condition of your quarters is a fun and educational journey. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny. Large date, without mint mark, is a fascinating coin that connects us directly to mid-20th century America. Minted in Philadelphia. Indicated by the absence of a mint mark, this coin is part of the last few years of the beloved Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was produced from 1909 through 1958, even with some scratches and wear. A fine condition 1956 penny remains a sought-after collectible for those who appreciate history, design, and numismatics. Starting with the design. The obverse side of the coin features the familiar right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. Lincoln's image was revolutionary for its time, being the first real historical figure to appear on regular U.S. coinage. Above Lincoln's head, the phrase, "In God We Trust," proudly arches, while the word liberty appears on the left side. On the right, you find the large date, 1956, with no mint mark below, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse, the classic wheat ears design gives the Lincoln wheat penny its name. Two elegant stalks of wheat frame the central inscriptions, which include the coin's denomination, 1 cent, and the country's name, United States of America, at the very top. The Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one appears as a reminder of the unity among the states. This reverse design remained unchanged for nearly 50 years, making it one of the most recognizable in American coin history. The 1956 penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a distinctive reddish-brown hue that can vary with age and exposure. Your coin, being in fine condition, shows moderate wear. This means the details on Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and coat lapel are worn but still visible. The wheat stalks on the reverse show softening but remain identifiable. The scratches mentioned are common on circulated coins and add to the story of the coin's journey through countless hands. The Philadelphia Mint produced a significant number of pennies. In 1956, over 1.6 billion coins. This high mintage means the 1956 no-mint mark penny is very common and not considered rare, but condition and eye appeal can affect its value. Coins in fine condition, such as yours, are collectible for those assembling daytime mint collections or interested in Lincoln pennies from the Wheat Cent series' final years. As for value, a 1956 Lincoln penny in fine condition with some scratches is typically worth around 10 to 20 cents in today's market. This value is above the coin's face value, but modest, reflecting its abundance and commonality. While not rare, it's a coin that represents a bygone era and remains a staple in coin collecting. Higher grades can command greater value. For example, coins in very fine or extremely fine condition may sell for 25 to 50 cents. Uncirculated examples with original red color and strong luster can range from $1 to $3, with top-quality specimens graded by professional services fetching even higher prices. Unique era coins or rare die varieties from this year can significantly increase value, but standard examples like yours have steady appeal as affordable and historical coins, beyond its monetary worth. This 1956 penny holds cultural and historical significance. It was minted during a time of growth and change in post-war America. The mid-1950s saw the rise of suburban life, television, and a booming economy. This coin likely changed hands in countless transactions from grocery stores and diners to vending machines and school lunches. Each scratch and mark is a testament to its journey through decades of American life. Collectors treasure coins like the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny because they are accessible pieces of history. Whether you're a novice collector starting your journey or an experienced numismatist building a complete Lincoln set, coins like this one offer insight into the evolution of American currency and design. In summary, your 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny large date, minted in Philadelphia and in fine condition with some scratches. May not be the rarest or most valuable coin, but it remains a valuable part of America's numismatic heritage. Its modest market value of around 10 to 20 cents reflects its commonality, but also the appreciation collectors have for its history, design, and place in the Lincoln cent lineage. Next up, the 1974 Washington quarter. Without a mint mark is one of the many iconic coins produced by the United States Mint during the 20th century. Though often assumed to contain silver because of its metallic appearance, this particular coin was actually struck using a copper-nickel clad composition. In today's video, we'll explore everything you need to know about this coin from its history and design to its real value in today's auction market, especially in extra fine condition with some visible scratches. Let's begin with the coin's origin. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design, created by John Flanagan, has become one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage. It features a profile of Washington on the obverse side, along with the words "Liberty" above his head, "In God We Trust" on the left, and the date 1974 displayed at the bottom. On the reverse, the coin depicts an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, with two olive branches underneath, symbolizing peace and strength. Now let's talk about the mint mark. If your coin doesn't have a mint mark, it means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1974, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 801 million Washington quarters, making this a fairly common coin in circulation. The absence of a mint mark is completely normal for coins minted in Philadelphia before 1980, as the practice of including the P mark only began 4 quarters in that year. Many people believe older quarters are made of silver, but in reality, the 1974 Washington quarter does not contain any silver. The U.S. Mint stopped using 90% silver in quarters after 1964. From 1965 onward, the Mint switched to a clad composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. This change was made to reduce production costs as the price of silver rose dramatically. In the 1960s, therefore, the 1974 quarter contains no silver and has no intrinsic metal value beyond its copper and nickel content. Now, let's examine the condition of this coin. The example we're talking about today is described as being in extra fine condition, which means most of the original details are still visible. Washington's hair and facial features should be sharp, with some light wear on the highest points. The eagle on the reverse side should have clear feathers, though light circulation may be present. However, the coin also has some scratches, which can slightly impact its eye appeal and collector value. In the coin grading scale, extra fine or F's a relatively high grade for a circulated coin. Coins in this condition show signs of wear but retain much of their detail and luster, while scratches may detract from the overall look. They are common for coins that have been used in commerce. So what's the value of a 1974 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in extra fine condition with some scratches, in today's market? Because this is a high mintage, non-silver coin, its value remains close to its face value in most cases. In circulated condition, including extra fine, the coin is typically worth between 30 cents and 75 cents. The presence of scratches usually doesn't increase or decrease the price dramatically unless they are very deep or unattractive. For most collectors, this is considered a filler coin, something to include in a date and mint mark collection until a better quality specimen is found. However, there are always exceptions. If your 1974 quarter has any unusual errors, such as a double-die clipped planchette or off-center strike, it could be worth significantly more. Some error coins from this year have sold at auction for $50 to $150. depending on the type and severity of the error. But for a standard extra fine example with no visible errors, don't expect to receive more than $1 or so in today's auction market. Coins in mint state condition, especially those graded MS65 and above by a third-party service like PCGs or NGC, can sell for $5 to $25 and sometimes more if they exhibit strong luster and clean surfaces. But again, that only applies to uncirculated coins. The one we're discussing with some scratches and wears valued modestly in the current market. Still, the 1974 Washington quarter holds historical and educational value. It's a great addition for beginner collectors, especially for those building a year set or learning about mid-century U.S. coinage. Its strong design, durable composition, and abundant mintage make it one of the most accessible coins for everyday collectors. In conclusion, the 1974 Washington quarter, without a mint mark, is not made of silver and holds modest value in today's market. In extra fine condition, with some scratches, it is generally worth around 30 to 75 cents. While not rare or highly valuable, it remains a fascinating piece of American coinage history and is certainly worth keeping if you enjoy the hobby of collecting. Next up, the 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is one of the most iconic and widely collected coins from the mid-20th century. Minted during a crucial time in American history towards the end of World War II, this coin reflects the resilience and industrial might of the United States during one of its most defining eras. The 1944 penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is indicated by the absence of a mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest number of these pennies that year, with over 1.4 billion coins struck, making it the most common date in the entire wheat penny series. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin's obverse features a right-facing bust of President Lincoln. The words "In God We Trust" appear above Lincoln's head. Liberty is inscribed to the left, and the date 1944 is to the right. This design remained unchanged for decades and became a familiar sight in American pocket change for generations. The reverse side of the coin features two wheat ears flanking the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. The Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, appears along the top. This wheatback design is why the coin is commonly referred to as a wheat penny. The design was used from 1909 through 1958, making it one of the longest-running reverse designs in U.S. coin history. The 1944 wheat penny is especially notable because it marked the return to the standard bronze composition following the unique 1943 steel cent, which was made from zinc-coated steel due to wartime copper shortages. By 1944, the U.S. Mint had resumed using copper alloys, although much of the copper used for 1944 pennies came from recycled shell casings from the war. This wartime reuse gives the coin a direct connection to the efforts and sacrifices made during World War II. Your specific 1944 Lincoln penny is described as being in good condition with some scratches. In numismatic terms, good condition means that the coin has been circulated and shows significant wear on both the obverse and reverse. The finer details on Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks are likely worn down, and the coin may have surface marks or light damage. Despite this, the major design elements and inscriptions are still readable, and the coin retains its identity and historical character. In terms of material, the 1944 penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Over time, copper coins can develop dark spots, discoloration, or oxidation, especially if they were exposed to moisture or oils from handling. The scratches you mention are quite typical of coins that have circulated for decades. While these marks affect the coin's grade, They do not erase its value to collectors or historians who appreciate its age and background. So what is the value of a 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark in today's market? Because of the high mintage, this particular penny is not considered rare, and its base value in good condition typically ranges from 5 to 10 cents. Collectors who are assembling a full Lincoln cent collection will often seek out coins like this to fill spots in their albums, especially if the coin is still readable and structurally sound, in very fine condition. The 1944 penny may fetch 15 to 25 cents. If the coin is in extremely fine or about uncirculated condition, it might be worth 30 to 50 cents. Uncirculated examples, especially those with a strong coppery red luster, can sell for $1 to $3. And certified mint state examples graded MS65 or higher can bring even more, often in the $5 to $10 range, depending on eye appeal. While the average 1944 penny isn't especially rare, some era varieties from this year are highly valuable. For example, the 1944 steel centa left over from the 1943 wartime issue is an extremely rare and sought-after error that can be worth thousands of dollars. However, your coin, made of copper and showing normal wear, is one of the standard issues even with its modest monetary value. The 1944 wheat penny is a powerful piece of history. It circulated during the final stages of World War II, when the country was united in sacrifice and effort. It might have passed through the hands of soldiers, factory workers, and American families buying war bonds or rationed groceries. Holding a 1944 penny today is like holding a tiny piece of American resilience and legacy. So while your 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, in good condition with some scratches, might only bring around 5 to 10 cents in today's collector market, its true value lies in its connection to a defining moment in U.S. history.